Hey beauties, good afternoon to you. All right, I really contemplated if I should talk about this, but I realize that we live in a world that seems to be getting a little bit, and I'm using the word very loosely and lightly when I say a little bit. I don't literally mean little bit. It's just getting really horrid, quite malevolent. You know, the vilifying of other people is becoming too pungent. It is a very pungent smell in the nostrils of the people, and I definitely, I'm sure it would be in the nostrils of God. And I'm saying this in light of the Prime Minister's wife, Juliet Holness, and this sort of, when they talk about the triangle, love triangle situation with another MP in her, in the present governing party. And I was listening to the lady giving her story, the background of what has been happening and what people have been saying, and how, it has put a sort of a tension between her and the Prime Minister's wife. And for me, my encouragement to the politicians on both GLP, PNP, and the other political sides, that you ensure that your personal lives do not come to the fore in this manner. It is unnecessary. It is not good. It is a sort of a distraction, and it is not for good governance. I can hardly believe that something like this came out. I don't know what spawned it. I don't know how this just came out, because the reality is, let us say hypothetically, what she's saying is not true. Meaning, let us say it is true, the allegations against the woman. She would not admit that, neither would he, nobody would. Two, we have to also look at the reality that this thing is embarrassing to the wife, whether or not you like Mrs. Holness. Nobody would want such a scandal on their name like this. Nobody would want to have something like this being discussed with their name being carried and saying things about them in this manner. It is not good. At least value the lady's private life. Value her marriage. Whether you want to think the marriage is fake, and when I say fake, meaning that there's no real love between them, that's none of our business. That's among three people. You know who the three people are? Mr. Holness, Mrs. Holness, and God. Let them deal with it. And if they want to bring in other third party people to help them in terms of counseling or whatever, if there is a problem, which I mean in every relationship, whether marital or non-marital, whether platonic or romantic, people have teeth and tongue will meet. We cannot stop that. So everybody needs a little counseling and guidance. So that's a general recommendation for anybody. But I think it is disrespectful to her to bring up that. Deal with, as I said, the matters relating to the people, good governance or the lack thereof, and we address the lack thereof if there is bad governance. Deal with fairness and justice as it relates to the society and the people. Do not bring in the personal lives of these people. All of that should not even come out. Cliff, you should not even have an interview with this. I mean, I can't tell you how the lady feels. If it is a lie, it's not good when somebody believes something that is not true and they run with it because of commonalities. In other words, because it happened to many other households, she would be no different. So people would more believe that it goes that way than not. And by the way, I hear people with this saying that if it no go so, it near go so, or something like that. If it near go so, some nearness. That's a false hypothesis. It's a false theorem. It is a false concept. Let me give a very, very clear example. When the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the scribes could not confound Jesus, they talked about him having the spirit of Beelzebub, which is a chief of Satan. And Jesus had to smile, but not in a cheery way. Basically smile at their ignorance, their lack of knowledge, and their lacking emotional intelligence, and even intelligence quotient. And he had to just come and promulgate something to them. He said, tell me this, how can Satan's kingdom be divided against itself? So I am going to preach about tearing down Satan's kingdom and going to God's kingdom, yet he's going to be a part of Satan's kingdom. Does that make any sense? When Satan hates God with a passion and hates human beings with a passion, and when they looked at it and examined what he said, they said, oh my God, it's true. I think we really just blundered big time right here. There are many stories that are going around about people that not even near go like that. It is as far as the east and even farther from the west. It is not true. It is a lie. So that theorem that they run with both if it not go so or it near go so, I don't remember how it goes. It's not true, and people hold on to that. It therefore means if you're going to hold on to that belief system, if somebody decides to get up and tell a lie on you, I hope you will accept it. Because if it not go so, it near go so. If it, especially if it is something that is completely made up, please accept it. If you can accept it for others and believe the lie about others, please accept it for yourself. Because one of the things I know in life, people don't understand when they talks about karma. It's whatever you dish out, it comes back to you. That's what it really is. But it comes back more potent, more powerful. It comes back more potent and more powerful. It's like when you plant a tree. There's no possible way you can plant seeds, and when it turns out into a magnolias tree, a very magnanimous tree, that you're going to see the seeds, you're going to see the fruits on the tree in abundance. You're going to see it. So that is a reality. So if you're going to hold on to that theorem, that if it not go so, it near go so, and it more than likely it's 98% true, please, when they start to tell lies on you and spread false information about you, accept it. Don't feel any way when people say, no man, if it not go so, it near go so. It's not my concern in the fullness of the whole entire saga with that triangle situation. It is not my business. It is the family's business and God's business. If it is true, I would hope that they would stop, because we as a child of God, as a woman, who tried to build her integrity because of God, that's not a good life to live. The whole adultery and so on. It is not good, and we would hope that they would stop and that they would respect the sanctity of marriage. Whether you think it's a fake marriage, when I say fake, you know what I mean? They think they love each other or they don't. Whether you think they live at odds or not, the reality is they're still married. They're husband and wife. That is what they're seeing, and anything that goes against that, any extra, is going to be seen against God's law and order, and it is not good. I'm not in the business of condemning anybody because I'm not God. What I'm saying is that we need to stop even carrying this news and this message. We need to stop carrying this news and this message and spreading this thing, because it's embarrassing to the family. It is embarrassing, especially to the wife. It doesn't seem good, because what people will be saying. I don't even want to say some of that, because sometimes I wonder if you people think the woman is not human. I wonder if you people don't think, would you want somebody to do that to you? You must ask yourself, would you want somebody to do this to you? Don't do it to the lady. Deal with her governance. If you don't like it, speak out against it. You don't have to be disrespectful to the people. I'm not in support of people tearing down the disposition or the physical attributes of the Prime Minister or his wife. I'm not into that. I'm not into disrespecting their post. What I always promulgate is hitting out against unfairness, injustice, bad governance, bad leadership. That is fine. We are created to do that, because we're here to build each other and to lift each other and to see growth and to see development. So I'm not going to join you with a mix-up on the blender, because let me tell you, one day you're going to be in that blender, and I hope you can manage being mixed. One day you will be in that blender, and I hope you can manage being mixed. They need to stop it. That must be heartbreaking for the woman, whether or not you think that way. She's his wife, and we need to respect that for what we see. We don't need to get into that, because some of you, some of you are married. Let me tell you, probably living far worse, and you can't even make an ant know what is going on in your marriage life or your married life. You can't, because you're so embarrassed. But yet you keep it under wraps. But people feel good, and they throw confetti and balloons up in the air when they hear these things about these ministers of government. It is not good. We need to stop it and stop fasting at the people in life and business. All of these things are unnecessary. An interview like this shouldn't even happen. Let people say what, because you can't stop them from believing it. You can't stop them. You just live your life in the right way, that it fades out if it is not true. If it is true, then you know that you and even if it is true, that they stop, repent, and live right as how God would expect them to, especially as it relates to marriage. But don't carry down their thing like that and embarrass the wife. Don't do it. Guys, follow me on TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share this.